Joining us now is former Congressman Pete Hoekstra of Michigan. He served from 1993 until 2011 when he made an unsuccessful bid for governor. In Congress, he was the ranking Republican and chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. And Representative Hoekstra, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, hey, thank you. It's good to be with you.
Well, according to published reports, you have filed papers and launched a campaign to run for Senate, making a bid to unseat Senator Debbie Stabenow, a Democrat. You announced that you filed papers, but did not officially announce that you're running. Are you indeed running for U.S. Senate?
Absolutely. I'm running. The papers that we filed today indicate that we are forming an organizational committee. We need 3-4 weeks to put all the pieces together. We've had just a tremendous outpouring of support. So we're going to put together the organizational team, the financial team, the management team, the political team to pull this off. We wanted to tell people we're in this race, but we're not fully organized at this point, but we soon will be, and we'll put together a top-notch campaign team. We're going to be successful.
Now, your decision reverses the one you made earlier this spring to stay out of the race. Why the change of heart?
Well, just a tremendous outpouring of grassroots support. Diane and I, we were very comfortable with the decision we made in March. People said if you want to get into a Senate race, you have to begin in March. And, we were just coming off a grueling gubernatorial primary. We were establishing life in the private sector. We just weren't ready to go. 3-4 months later, people are saying and continue to coming up to us and say, hey, Pete, Diane, we think you maybe made the wrong decision. Would you please reconsider? And we said, here, tell us why. We'll reconsider. And if there's a compelling case, we will do that. The compelling case is, the Obama administration policies, which are supported almost 100% by the most liberal senator in the U.S., Debbie Stabenow. Guess what? She needs a challenge. She needs not only a challenge, she needs to be replaced. We're willing to take on that challenge, and I fully hope and expect to be the next senator representing the great state of Michigan.
Now, she is a two-term Democrat. She wants a third term. At last check, her campaign had $4 million in the bank as of July 1st. Critics say that you would both be very formidable opponents. You say that you can beat her. What's your strategy going to be?
Well, number one, we're just going to talk about an alternative vision for America. She's talking about bigger government. She's talking about the federal government taking over health care, taking over student loans, taking over all aspects or many aspects of the private sector. My record is very clear. I believe that America's future, Michigan's future, it begins with the people of Michigan and doesn't begin in Washington, D.C. I've got a consistent record of voting against tax increases, voting for smaller government, voting to move federal programs out of Washington and bringing them back to the local level. People forget I was one of the few people on either side of the aisle that fought the monstrosity called No Child Left Behind. It was a massive takeover of the federal government of local control of education. And so, this will be a campaign of alternative visions for America. The choice couldn't be clearer for the people of Michigan.
If elected to the Senate, what would your priorities be?
This is all about economic growth, economic opportunity, get government out of the way, balance the budget, continue to reform and lower taxes, get rules and regulations out. I mean, this administration just recently has been saying no to a new pipeline of oil coming from Canada. They've been saying no to energy development, except expensive energy. Get government out of the way. Americans can compete if we just give them the opportunity to do it.
Congressman Hoekstra, if in the Senate, how would you vote on cut, cap, and balance?
I'm a supporter of cut, cap, and balance. I just talked with Senator DeMint about it just last night. That's the direction we need to go.
What is your take on the plan by the so-called Gang of Six, which is trying to break the impasse in Congress over raising the debt limit by August 2nd? The Gang of Six is proposing about $3.75 trillion in savings over 10 years, and their proposal contains about $1.2 trillion in new revenues. Is this a plan that you support, or should cuts go deeper?
Well, I think, number one, I'm not sure why we need to have any more revenue increases for Washington. The problem in Washington is not revenue. The problem is spending. The other thing we need to do is we need to get a better idea for exactly what's in this plan. But, on the surface, this is not a great deal. Remember when we had the similar kind of economic problems in America in 1995, and we worked with, surprisingly, with President Bill Clinton. What did we do? We reformed government. We reformed welfare. We lowered taxes, and we cut spending. And guess what? We had a boom in economic activity, which fueled tax revenues, which enabled us to balance the budget. Now we're going to try a plan that increases taxes, doesn't reform government, cuts a little bit of spending, but not that much. And this is not about just raising the debt ceiling. What we need to do is we need to put in place a plan that grows America's economy. That is what helps us address the fiscal problems of the country.
Congressman Hoekstra, last question real quickly. The American public is tired of the bipartisan bickering in Washington and wants straightforward political leaders to lead. Can you help turn around the inside-the-beltway mentality that seems to have this country at a standstill?
I sure hope so. I mean, after 9/11, I led the efforts to reform the intel community. Jane Harmon, Susan Collins, Joe Lieberman, and I went through 4, 5, 6 months of tough negotiations, and for the first time in 50 years, we reformed the intel community. That structure, while far from being perfect, has kept us safe and has enabled us to kill bin Laden. I've demonstrated it in the past, but what I'm not going to do is, and I didn't have to do it in that case, I'm not going to sell out principle just for an agreement. We need to focus on good solutions that really are going to make a difference.
All right, Congressman Pete Hoekstra, thanks so much for being here, and good luck with your campaign.
Hey, it's not about luck, it's all about hard work, but thank you very much.
All right, thank you.